Hey guys, welcome back to my channel again. My name is Vance. In today's tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to make this beautiful blouse. If this is what you want to learn, let's get right into the tutorial. So guys, this is my pattern sheet. I'll go ahead and rule out my starting line. After I'm done rolling out my starting line, guys, the next thing I'm going to take is my vertical measurement, which is my bust point, which is 10, my under bust line, which is 13, my waistline, which is 16, and the full length of our blouse, which is 27, but my pattern is actually short, so I'll be making do of what I have here, which is I'll be marking 24 and a half. Then on my fabric, I will just include the length of the full length, that's the length of the blouse. So I'll go ahead and rule out my points, the points that I made. So after I'm done with this, guys, I'll go ahead and take my shoulder measurement. My client's shoulder measurement is 16 divided by 2 is 8. I'll come down from that 16 by 1 inch. After that, I'll take my armhole. To get your armhole, you divide your bust by 6 plus 1.5. I marked it out and I went ahead to rule it out. When I'm done, I'm going to indicate my CL, that's my chest line, my bust point, my under bust, my waistline, and the full length of the blouse, which is FL. So when I'm done with this, guys, I'll go ahead and take my neck width. Okay, before my neck width, I'll replace my shoulder measurement on my CL. I'll connect it down to the 1 inch shoulder slope I came down by. That's this my armhole line. From that line that I mark, which my armhole line, I'll divide it into 2 just like this. I'll mark it. I'll go in by 1/2 inch to eliminate bulges. I'll go to my chest line. I'll mark my bust point, and then I'll connect these 3 points together with my French curve. So when I'm done with this, guys, I'll go ahead and take my neck width. For my neck width, I'll be using 5.5. I wanted to draw out my neck depth, but then I said later. I didn't mark up my neck depth immediately. So when I'm done, guys, what I'm going to do next is to connect my shoulder slope. After that, I'll take my nipple to nipple. My client nipple to nipple is 8 plus 1. That's that 1 inch is for the allowance. I always do this. So I marked it out, and then I use my ruler to connect the point straight to the full length of my blouse. So when I'm done with this, guys, from my CL, I'll connect that line to my armhole line. That's my mid armhole, just like this. I'll use my ruler to connect it because we are actually making a princess that blouse. So this is how it's done. On my under bust, I'll come in by 1.2. Then for my center front, I'll come in by 0.75. I'll connect that point straight to the full length of my blouse. Just watch what I'm doing. So I'm connecting this one straight while I'm connecting this one vertically, like I'm bending it because of the style of our blouse. It doesn't require a straight dart. It requires a normal vertical dart. So for my bust point, I'm giving it a curve to get my bustier. So I'm also doing that on my center front, after which I'm going to curve from my bust point to my armhole line, just the way you see me doing. So for the distance, I actually use 0.75. You can use between 0.75 to 1.5, or you can use 1 inch. But for me, I used 0.75. What I'm going to do is I'm going to extend it so that my material will not get short. I extended it by 1.5. So I'm going to check it. I actually use 1.5. You can use 2 inches and more, depending on the size of your client. So I'll repeat the 1.5 on my chest line. I'll go ahead and connect it straight to my chest line. So when I'm done with this, guys, so this point I'm marking out, we are no longer using it. We are only using the initial point. So guys, I'll go ahead and take my under bust measurement divided by 4. I'll replace my darts on it, and then I'll mark my allowance. My allowance I actually used was 3.5 because she wanted more allowances. So my waistline, I'll divide my waist by 4. I marked it, and then I will check my darts there, and I'll replace my dart, and then I'll still add my allowance of 3.5 inches. For my full length, I used my hip line divided by 4. I checked what I got for my dart, I replaced it, and then I added my allowance. For my allowance, I actually used 3.52. So when I'm done with this, for my bust point, all I'm going to do is I'm going to add my allowance. Since I've already taken my bust, I use 4 inches for my allowance. I'll go ahead and connect these points together. So our pattern is almost ready. So guys, I'll go ahead and for my full length, I'll come up by 1 inch. I'll connect it down to my dart line, just the way you see me doing. So guys, when I'm done with this part that I'm marking out is the part that we are going to cut out. So we are no longer using this part. So from my bust point, I will come down by 2 inches for my dart. That's for my bust dart. We are no longer using this part too, so we are going to cut out this part. So basically guys, I'll go ahead on my shoulder to take my neck depth. My neck depth I use 4 inches, so I'm going to connect that 4 inches to my 5.5 that I marked out initially. So guys, after I'm done with this, I'll go ahead and mark my center front and my side front. So I'll go ahead and cut. Just watch carefully how I'm cutting it so you don't have to make mistakes in yours. So I'm cutting out my bust dart, just the way you see me doing. I'm going to close it up, and then I'll use my masking tape and tape it down. Then that side that has space, I'll use a pattern sheet, a free pattern sheet, to make it equal with my bust line. I don't know if you get. So I'm going to use my masking tape, and then I'm going to tape it down just the way you see me doing, and then I'm going to use my scissors to make my line straight just the way you see me doing. So that part that was short, I've replaced it with a new pattern sheet. So basically this is our front block. So for the back block, I've gone ahead to actually rule out my starting line. So I've added my zip allowance, I've added my shoulder. This is my shoulder. I came down by 1 inch. I got my armhole line. I came down my armhole line. That is it. So this is my CL. I'm going ahead to mark it, my waistline, and then the full length of my blouse. So guys, next thing I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take my armhole line. I'll divide it into 2 just like this to get my mid armhole. And then I'm going to take my bust point, I'll mark it so to get my armhole curve. I'm going to curve these 2 points together just the way you see me doing. When I'm done with this guys, I'm going to take my neck width. My neck width I used for the front was 5.5. I'll still use that 5.5. For my neck depth I used 2.5. I'll connect the points together just the way you see me doing, the 2.5 and the 5.5. So at this point, I actually made a little bit of mistake. So I'm going to still use my French curve and straighten my mistakes. That's the joy of pattern drafting. And then I'll connect my shoulder slope together. At this point, guys, I'm going to take my nipple to nipple, which is 4.5. I'll mark it straight to my full length, and I'll connect the 3 points together. When I'm done guys, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dart on my waist. Stars I came in by half inch on both sides. For my dart, I'll connect the points together, connect from my chest line to my waistline, and then to my full length, just as you're seeing me do. So after I'm done with this, guys, I'll go ahead and take my allowance on my bust. Since I've already marked it on my waistline, I'll divide my waistline by 4. I'll check the darts, I'll replace it, and then I'll add my allowance. I'll do the same thing for my full length. I added my hip divided by 4, and then I added my allowance. Since there's no darts, I didn't take any darts there. I'll just go straight to adding my allowance. So I'll connect the points together just the way you see me doing. So when I'm done connecting this point, I'll come up from my full length by 1 inch, just the way I did for the front, and then I'll connect it to the dart line, or almost close to the dart line, just like this. So I'm going to mark out the parts that I'll be cutting out. So this part I'm marking out is the part that I will be cutting out. So I'll head off to my zip side to eliminate bulges. From my waistline, I came in by 0.75, and then I'm going to connect it to my center line, and then my chest line, and then I'm going to connect it straight to the full length of my blouse. So from that 0.75, I'm going to, remember I used 2 inches, so I'm going to mark my 2 inches there, so you can see the allowance that I have is also 0.75. So I'm going to connect that point like this, and then I'm going to connect it like this too. So I'm going to now mark out that part that I'm marking out is the part that I'm going to cut out, and then I will indicate zip allowance. So guys, our back block is ready. I will mark out my center back and my side back. So there's a little bit of alteration that I'll be doing on the armhole line, because I don't want my dart. I want my dart to be a princess cut at the back. So I did a little bit of alteration. So from my chest line, I'll connect to my mid armhole to give it that princess dart cut. I think this is preferable for this kind of blouse. So I'm going to connect it like this using my French curve. So I'm going to add extra 1 inch so that my material will not get short. I added 1 inch here. I'll replace the 1 inch on my chest line. I'll go ahead and extend this line to that 1 inch I marked, and then I'll use my French curve to give it a curve. Are you seeing? Yes. So you have to extend it by 1 inch or 1.5, depending on how big your client is. So guys, I'll go ahead and cut. So I actually use my masking tape to tape it down so that that part that I already cut, you know that I cut that part before I went ahead to draft out that princess blouse. So I use my masking tape to tape it down. So basically I am cutting out the parts that I do not want in this blouse. So guys, hope my tutorial is helpful. Hope you're learning. If you are, please guys, do well to subscribe to my channel, like my video, and then share. Leave a comment in the comment section if you do not understand. Guys, I have gone ahead to fold my fabric into 2. So basically I am placing my pattern, that's my center front, on it. I've pinned it down. This is my side front. I've also gone ahead to pin it down, just the way you see me doing. So I told you I was going to add allowances on the down part of my full length because my pattern paper was not enough. So this was me when I added my allowance on it. I used 3 inches. Remember there was a bust dart. So basically my blouse length was 27. The one I used for my pattern sheet was 27.5. So I'll go ahead and confirm if it's up to 27. As you can see, it's 27.5. So guys, I'll go ahead and cut it out. So when I'm done cutting, I'll also fold my fabric again to cut out my back piece. So I'll be placing my center back on the fabric like this. I'll go ahead and pin it down. After I'm done pinning, so for the back, then I brought out my side back also. I placed it and then I'm pinning it down just the way you see me doing, guys. So for the back, I added 1 inch allowance for the back instead of the 3 inches. Remember that we used 2 inches for our bust dart. So basically 27 minus 2 inches is going to 27.5 minus 2 inches is going to give us 25.5. So I used 25.5 for my back block. That's for my back length. So this was when I was cutting it out. I did not add any allowance when I was cutting aside on the full length of my blouse, because basically I have added all my allowance on my pattern while I was drafting, so there was no need for me to add any allowances. So when I was done, guys, I'll just go ahead and draft my sleeve. This is actually a structured sleeve that has a lot of allowance. So for this sleeve length, I'll be making do of 10 inches for my length. I've gone ahead to mark out my starting line. I'll mark my 10 inches and then my 4 inches, which is the armhole, where my armhole is going to sit. I'm going ahead to connect my lines together. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to give about 4 inches allowance. This 4 inches is for the pleating. This kind of sleeve is not the regular sleeve that you just cut straight. You have to give an allowance. So this allowance that I gave is for my pleats. This is where I'm going to pleat to give me that exaggerated sleeve down there. So I have gone ahead to take my round sleeve measurements. I'm going to add my allowance of 3 inches, and then for the full length, that's where my length is, I added 2 inches. So I'm going to connect my armhole curve just the way you see me doing. So I'm going to check it if it corresponds. It's actually too small, so I went ahead to check everything. It's still too small, so I went ahead to extend my allowances. So I used 2 inches extra for that part because it was not enough. Then for my full length, I used 1 inch. So in total, I used 5 inches for my allowance. So I'm satisfied now. So I went ahead to cut. In this kind of sleeve, guys, you have to give enough allowance so that it can be able to give you that room to be able to pleat. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So I'm going to notch and then I'll fold my fabric again to cut out the other sleeve. So I'm going to cut out like this. So I'll notch and then for the full length, I'll cut out 1/2 inch because I do not want the sleeve to be straight. So I just cut out 1/2 inch. You can cut 1 inch, but I decided to cut 1/2 inch on my own. So basically, this is all. I'm marking the wrong side of the sleeve so I will not have to make mistakes. So I've gone ahead to put paper stay on my block, my front block, my back block. So I've also put my interface on my lining. So I'll go ahead and place my front block on the lining. I folded the lining into 2. So I'm going to cut out my linings 2 together. I'll pin it down and then I will go ahead and cut. I will do the same pattern for the back and for the sleeve. So since our sleeve is a structured sleeve, guys, I used a very hard interface for my sleeve so that it can stand. Some people go ahead to add bonings to it, but I didn't add bonings to it to my own. I just added that very strong interface so that no matter how you wash it, it's not going to fall. That was what I did for my sleeve. That was the interface I used for my sleeve. So guys, I'll be cutting out my breast part. So I have measured it. I used 8 inches for the length of my breast part, and I think I used 25 inches for the width. I don't know if you get. So I've placed my center front on the breast part. I've gone ahead to pin it down. So I'm placing my side front on the other part of my breast part. I started immediately on the under bust. I did not start after. On the under bust, that was where my breast part started. So guys, I'll pin it down and then I'll cut it. I'll go ahead. When I'm done pinning, I will show you the next step to do. So this was when I was cutting it out. So when I'm done cutting, guys, I'm going to place my side front on my center front. I'll go ahead and sew. So guys, we are almost at the end of our tutorial. Thank you guys for watching. Please do well to subscribe to my channel, like, share my video, leave a comment in the comment section, and I'll be there to respond to your comments, and I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye guys.